citadel in the Bible was an elevated stronghold within a walled city. So I love that you pulled this moment of, you got this stronghold on me.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Camarray.
And I'm Zaiah.
And this is the Music Report Card,
where albums are reviewed based on the vocals, lyrics,
the production, as well as the sonic flow.
Alright, today we are going to be reviewing Lil Nas X's new album.
And it's called Montero, which is his government name.
It's a government
name. But before we get started, we want to invite you to subscribe to our channel here. Make sure you hit this video with a thumbs up. Drop down in the comments and leave us a little comment, you know what I'm saying? And make sure you share this video with your family, friends, and click that notification bell, man. You don't want to miss none of this goodness over here, you know what I'm saying? We over here looking like mahogany and what you serving today?
I'm giving my Montero.
All right. Well, let's talk about it.
Let's get into it, yo.
Yes.
Lil Nas X is an American singer/rapper born and raised in Lithia Springs, Georgia. His career began with the release of his meteoric single, Old Town Road, featuring Billy Ray Cyrus. The single spent 19 weeks at #1 and now holds the title as the longest running #1 single in Billboard's history.
Many wonder if Lil Nas was a one-hit wonder until he dropped songs like Panini, Rodeo, and Montero, Call Me By Your Name. Now, Lil Nas X is back with his debut album, Montero, and we are here to review it.
Yes, we are.
All right, but before we get started, we want to salute Lil Nas X. Is he legal? I think he's legal.
He's 22.
Okay. All right. With a salutation, a little drinky drain.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on your debut album.
Yes.
Well, many more.
I guess we won't talk about the events leading up to the birth of the album.
Lord have mercy.
But it was catchy and it got people's attention and it got them ready to. They knew it was coming out. If they ain't know nothing else,
they knew he was pregnant.
So shout out to that too.
Yes. All right. To Lil Nas, let's get this thing. All right, Montero, Lil Nas X. Zay, what was your favorite song?
So Montero was actually, for those of you who didn't watch the actual reaction video, let's just first say, make sure you go back and watch us react to these actual songs that we're going to talk about now. But Montero is one of my favorite songs on the album. Y'all, this song is such a crazy song in my opinion. Like, it really takes music in a different direction, in my opinion. I think what it is honestly, yes, it's things that have been done before, but they're done in a certain way that just complements what he does as an artist.
I agree with that.
So, and it's such a crazy song in my opinion. All the counter melodies and different things that are happening all at once just has your mind just going, while you got this call me by your name, like just so many different things happening. His vocal delivery is dope. The harmonies are dope. And then I like the switch ups in the song. They're all just super catchy. So super duper dope song. When I first heard the song, I didn't catch it. I didn't really pay Lil Nas X any attention. But once I actually got into, I kept hearing the song. I was like, oh my God, so much is happening. This is actually really like phenomenal.
Yeah, I have to say this name. It reminded me of Timbaland, like, and how you would hear those beatboxes. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I thought that was brilliant, and I thought again. And I'm gonna say this throughout the show, I really feel that Lil Nas X and some of these choices that he makes, as far as we'll stick with Montero and the musicality of it all, is really setting him up to be like a really dope artist.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say it for myself. Old Town Road, is that what it's called? Panini, all those songs, I was like, fad. He's gonna fade away in a couple years.
Yeah.
But this,
especially Old Town Road, really felt like that. I don't even know the Panini song. I don't really know. I may know it, like just have heard it, but didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
But this one, yeah.
Yeah. So very, very smart choices when we talk about singles and things of that nature to help propel you to legendary artist status. So yeah, I agree.
All right, Camarray.
All right, well, my first.
Oh, can I also mention one more thing?
Go ahead.
Multiple hooks. The multiple hooks in Montero. Oh my God! It's. I said it, and I said he did all the switching up and different things like that. But it's just like your Rihanna and Beyonce's and the what's the other one? The other hook that she throws in there, or the other moment.
I couldn't think of
like just multiple moments that where you're just like pulled in all these different directions.
And y'all know I talk about that,
and
all
definitely
the time.
catchy. So
yes,
back to you.
And just let's take a moment since we're doing it to educate. The hook is like the part that you grab a hold to.
Yes.
So in this song, you've got "Call Me When You Want," "Call Me When You Need," and then you got "Call Me by Your Name." So it's all these different sections of the song.
But then you got the chants too.
Yeah, so that's what we're talking about when we're talking about multiple hooks. So with that being said, yeah. All right, let's talk about my first favorite song, which was Void, which I mentioned it just with Montero, but that whole feeling of that song is just so dope. I love the musicality of it, the chord progressions, and then secondly, lyrically, how he starts the song off, basically saying, "Hello, old friend from the road, I wanted to write you a note." I feel like you felt it, and then he does like almost spill his whole heart out on the song, and he illustrated so beautifully how he feels this void without saying, "I'm feeling this void." And when I say feeling, F-E-E-L-I-N-G, not F-I-L-L-I-N-G. Come on, somebody. He really goes on to express his feelings and etc. And then it's like he's talking, I'm guessing, to a friend named Hodo. That might be like a nickname or something like that. But as I mentioned in our reaction video, it seems like a little Frank Ocean moment is going on. So I loved it. Void is my top favorite song of the album. So let's move on to number 2 for you.
All right, so number 2 for me, y'all, Sun Goes Down. Wow. The transparency and vulnerability. Like when those two things meet a single, how do you make that happen? A lot of times people give a little bit more transparent. They're a little bit more transparent and vulnerable when you go and you listen to like the album filler songs and you're like, oh, I love that song and blah, blah, but it doesn't really feel like a single. It just feels like a moment for you to connect with them as an artist. So for him to have that as a single is just a wow to me. So, and yes, we've heard a lot of singles that I feel like that still have some transparency and some vulnerability, but to talk about two things, it's the what he's talking about that makes it even a bigger deal in my opinion.
What are you talking about?
He's talking about his sexuality and also suicide, and how those two things also link together is on a whole different level, because a lot of people who struggle with their sexuality have thoughts of suicide and want to just be gone and want, he talks about asking God he asked God to take it away, take being gay away, take being a homosexual away, and made it clear that he was at a point that he was really ready to die. Then the fact that you're able to make it so catchy that people aren't even really catching the message for real. Because I heard the song and didn't even know that that's what, like I've heard it prior to me listening to it for the music report card, and didn't even know. I was like, oh, this is kind of catchy. This is, this is okay. This is cool and everything, but didn't really get into the lyrics fully. So just in my opinion, I just think it was kind of an epic song.
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember the video. I reviewed the video. If you haven't seen that, go ahead and go back to the report. I did a full reaction video to the video, and it was such an amazing visual where he's like on the outside looking at him kind of going through these things and kind of giving, like, wishing he could tell this person like it's gonna be okay and da. Such a illustrative, thank you, artist, and again, the makings of a legendary artist for me. Was that it for you?
That's it for me. What's your next favorite?
My next favorite is not on that type time. It's very much just a fun number, and that is Scoop featuring Doja Cat. And that song for me is just fun, Love the vibe of the song. I can relate to a couple parts. I won't name the parts of the song that I can relate to. Amen. But it's popping, and I ain't got to say no more. Doja Cat comes in, does her thing. It's fun, it's vibey, and it's popping. Scoop is my number 2.
Scoop is actually one of my honorable mentions. I really love the switch up that he does with his voice on the second verse. Just dope. And the song is such a vibe. You can't help but to get into it and bounce and get into it, with Doja Cat being on there. If you haven't heard her song, get into it, Or if you haven't watched our review of Doja Cat's album, definitely circle back around and find that one, because that one was dope too.
Yes. All right, well, let's move on to our third favorites. Zay.
Y'all, this is my favorite on the album, I think. It's just because being biracial, I was brought up listening to 2 different types of music, and I think he put the 2 different types of music in one song. So you have like this R&B feel, this pop feel, but then you also have this kind of alternative rock type feel, you know, that's coming together. But then it's also the lyrics that really just grab my attention as well. Lost in Citadel. This song is really captivating. I initially, when I was listening to it, the sound in the beginning is just so like dissonant, and it just like it's like, please make it stop. But then the music comes in, and whoever did production just did such a great job of making that sound just fit in with what was happening, and his voice comes in, everything just it really great job. I love the dreamy feel of the song. Then it goes into that alternative rock feel that I was talking about. But the lyrics, the melody, like I said, really did catch my attention. The song is about knowing that you have to walk away from love.
Wow.
But also knowing that you need time to process it. Yet, as you're processing it, you're also remembering the past and how you thought this love would be the one, and you just knew this was going to be the moment. And then Citadel in the Bible was an elevated stronghold within a walled city. So I love that you pulled this moment of, you got this stronghold on me. And then he also is saying in the song, like, you also know I'm gonna come right back. Regardless of the fact that I'm really trying to get away, and I know I need to face the fact that you aren't the one for me. And I'm reflecting on the fact that, like, when I first met you, I just knew this was you were the one, and you were gonna elevate me, and you were gonna just bring me all these amazing vibes. I really know that you're honestly not the one for me, and I'm trying to get out of it, but you just have this stronghold. Just so dope that he intertwined that title, just like you talked about with Void. The title is a whole moment that isn't even mentioned in the song. You know, but you just gotta get it. You gotta do your homework. So my favorite,
Lost in Citadel.
All
right. Well, with that being said, my last favorite is Am I Dreaming? And I want to encourage those that have not already to go and look at the Apple Music interview with, I believe his name is Zane Lowe. He does all the Apple Music interviews. And it's interesting when Lil Nas X talks about this song in specific. The song features Miley Cyrus, who is, of course, an amazing, amazing vocalist. But it's really, he illustrates, well, not, I'm sorry, he doesn't illustrate, but he talks about in the interview how he doesn't want to be forgotten, and it's almost like he doesn't want, is my living in vain? He doesn't want his living to be in vain, and all of these things that he's going through in life not to be for nothing. And so he talks about the splash. I don't want to give the whole interview away, so I want you guys to go watch it, but he talks about the splash of water at the very end of the song, which for me, when you link that moment with the album cover, which again he talks about in the interview as well, it's all so dope and just so creative, and I just love how he is setting himself up to be different. Now, I just want to mention this because I was, again, one of those people that said Lil Nas X, it's so hard for me to, like, it was so hard for me to pull for him because I felt like he was like everything that he was doing was like a gimmick. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like every time we see him, you kissing somebody, you twerking, you do, like, it was so hard. So the only thing I hope and pray is that people can really get past all of that shenanigan to really get into what he's doing on this album, because it's special. It's really, really special. So I'm gonna wrap up with that. I don't have any more. Let's talk about our honorable mentions, Zay.
All right, so one of my honorable mentions was $sign Slime.
$sign Slime.
So much swag, y'all. He's talking real big-ish. And I feel like the song really can go up against a lot of other rap songs. Like, it really sounds like a Future or, you know, a whole kind of more of the down south rap, but definitely is dope. Industry Baby featuring Jack Harlow. I know a lot of y'all know that. I just love the anthem marching band sound. I love his second verse. Definitely goes hard. And his delivery was dope. It reminded me, his second verse reminded me of Young Thug when he came in, because he didn't really say his words. He's like, need to get up. But he's saying, like, I need to get this album done, and I need to, it's like that whole, like, I get why he did it, because he's like, it's like that struggle, like, oh, I need to get this done.
Yeah.
So just to be able to, like, deliver that, man, like, I just thought that was so dope. And of course, Jack definitely went off as well. Dead Right Now. The whole church feel, then going into the marching band feel, I just don't know how you connect the two and make it work.
Yeah,
but they were able to make it work. Then he comes in flow, and his flow is definitely hard. And I love that he's speaking his truth about how people treated him, both his mom and his dad, and just addressing his fans and saying, like, because a lot of, not fans, but a lot of people who just kind of doubted him, aka C-Rob, Kamar Robinson over here, you know, just addressing and saying, y'all thought I was done, y'all thought I wasn't going to be able to give you anything else, but here it is. And it's just amazing that he created something so hard that worked with the gospel ad-libs, the little marching band feel, the harmonies in the back. Gospel moments were definitely subtle, but not like too much, where some people just put, you know, someone just screaming real hard. They really were pushed and tucked back. So definitely a good job with production. Moving on to Don't Want It. Song was super duper turnt, y'all, and the switch up in his voice was definitely on point. That's What I Want was another one of my honorable mentions. I love that it has that upbeat feel, but also still has that alternative feel. Still brings the swag. I just love what he is doing on this album, y'all, as you can tell. And then I love the harmonies, connecting all the areas that if he didn't have harmonies, like subtle harmonies there, it wouldn't connect. I think you had mentioned that you didn't hear that before, but
I did.
Them harmonies were definitely dope. But yeah, that's all I have. I also mentioned Scoop at the end of, that was one of Kamaray's favorites, but at the end of his, that was one of my other honorable mentions. It's a lot of the album. I really, really enjoyed this album. And if y'all don't know anything about me, I love when I can listen to an album. There's so many different versatile moments, and I don't feel like I'm just listening to this one person. Even though I'm listening to this one person, I didn't feel like I was.
Yes.
Because he has so many different vocal moments that he gave us.
Yes, and I just want to mention my honorable mention was Montero, and I also want to shout out Day Trip, who are the production team behind Panini and a lot of these songs from the album. Again, if you watch the Zane Lowe interview with Apple Music, they come on and talk about how their process was and how they set up, kind of similar to Taylor Swift and Jack and what's my man's name, Jack Antonoff, and I forgot the other guy's name. But how they basically set up studio in this one location, and it felt comfortable. They did all this work, and it really makes sense. And so, Lil Nas X and Day Trip, shouts out to Day Trip. Y'all did an amazing job production-wise on a lot of these songs. So, with that being said, we have our honorable mentions out of the way. I think it's time to talk and give him his grade.
All right, so starting off with vocals. I think the vocals were definitely on point. As I mentioned, anytime someone can switch up their voice so much and do so many different things, from singing to sounding like this little alternative Caucasian to rapping and giving swag, that is amazing to me. And it's not even just that, he also had moments where the timing was just like void. The timing on Void was just like so off but on.
Yeah.
It just like made so much sense, and that's something that you really just can't teach.
Yeah.
So yeah, I gave him a 4.75. The only reason I didn't give him a 5 is because I do feel like as an artist he's still there's some room to grow. There was definitely some moments where I couldn't hear certain things, which I think may have been intentional.
Sometimes I think it was.
The whole moment of the chicken moment, where he said
cocaine and drinking with your friends.
Cocaine and drinking with your friends. People were like, cocaine and chicken with your friends, or checking with your friends. What is he saying? And there was a whole moment about what he was actually saying. Even though you can just look it up and figure it out. People made a whole moment out of it, and it goes to show that you have to kind of enunciate your words. So that was one little moment, and then there's also some moments where I felt like one song I felt like he and I can't recall the song, where he still sounded good, but I can hear behind the effects that it was just kind of like dry and not really giving everything it needed to give. So, all right, 4.75 for vocals for me.
I gave him a 4, and I kind of agree with Zay. I think there's just room to grow. But I definitely want to mention once again the versatility of his voice is something to be reckoned with. Something that a lot of artists, Meg Thee Stallion, need to get into it, because that's what makes people fall in love with you. When you can go from rock to pop to R&B to hip hop and all of the in-betweens, it's something you gotta say something. It's something to be said for that. So vocals for me gets a 4.
And that's why I graded so high on that, y'all, is because that actually is a big skill that a lot of people do not have.
Absolutely.
To switch up your voice and do all these moments, and wow.
Yeah.
So moving on to lyrics. Lyrics I think were definitely strong as well. I think that I didn't cite a lot or talk about a lot of lyrics, but I think once you get into the album and you pay attention to the lyrics, you're really able to see why I'm grading the way I'm grading. I gave a 4.75 for lyrics, and I just think they were strong. Some of them were catchy and whatever, but then when you really, like I said, when you really look at a lot of the songs, he really is connecting some moments. And then also, not even just sometimes in my opinion, lyrics aren't even just about the lyrics. Sometimes it's the fact that you took a title that you wouldn't expect to have and then you have this song and you tie the two things together. So sometimes that to me is a lyric because you took a whole moment to make that happen as well. So, and I've seen that in Void, I've seen that in my favorite song, I've seen it in another song as well. So lyrics were definitely on point for me, 4.75. All
right, well, I gave him a 3.75, and although there were some really, really, really strong moments.
And the rap bars, I'm sorry. He coming with the bars, y'all. Like, I was like, hold on. I don't see, because Old Town Road, I just don't see you as a rapper. Yeah. But the way he was coming hard with the lyrics and everything, y'all.
He did it. Now, there were some very, very strong moments. I'll give you Lost in Citadel, Void, Am I Dreaming? A lot of strong moments, but there were also a lot of very weak moments. And although I love That's What I Want, lyrically, if we just strip, the melodic and all of that down, That's What I Want is... And there's another song where he's like, I do what I do when I... It gets a little foggy for me, lyrically. Yeah. So for me, I had to give him a 3.75 because, like I said, there were some strong moments, but there were some very weak moments.
And in the cheesy, very weak moments, though, I think that in my processing, when I processed it from a grading perspective, I felt like you still have to have some of those cheesy moments because he hasn't fully bridged the gap. He's coming out as an artist at 22 and giving us more sex appeal and sexy and all this other side of things, but I still feel like he never really bridged the gap from Old Town Road, from being this little kid singing Old Town Road. Yeah, he had some songs in between there, but I don't think he really fully bridged that gap. So I feel like he had to have that, those little cheesy moments that may be big songs for the little kids on TikTok and things like that. So that's kind of where my brain was, and I think the overall, the bigger picture, he did a great job lyrically. So,
all right. Well, let's talk about his production. Zay, what you got to say?
Production got a 5, y'all. I mean, I don't even know that I need to go into a whole bunch of detail. I've talked a lot about it. I loved it. Like I said, with the the churchy song, that those moments were so tucked that a lot of the audiences may not have even noticed that he was tying in this church moment. And then also some of the lyrics that he was using, going back to lyrics, were now you guys are coming around talking about hallelujah, how'd you do it? Now you're putting this hallelujah in here, and then you kind of gave that little church feeling in the beginning, and then you have all these ad libs in the background that are real subtle and tucked to where it's not overpowering and doing too much. Just in my opinion, production did a phenomenal job. And they did a phenomenal job because some of these songs aren't like structured songs to where it's like to a T. They cut off, even Montero. It comes in and then it cuts off, and then it's like, I can't even think of the first verse, but it cuts off and just goes straight into this whole other moment, and you're like, how did you make that transition work? Has to be production.
Yeah. And I definitely agree. Now, I mentioned in our reaction video, this little moment, and this is the only issue that I had with production, and it's on my favorite song, Am I Dreaming with Miley Cyrus. And that is, I don't know if you heard it, but if you listen to Lil Nas X's vocal and then you listen to Miley, it's like a distinct difference, and you could tell that either they use different mics or something. And it was like Lil Nas was giving like this, I don't know, I won't say, we'll just for the sake of the argument say that his mic was less clear, and then Miley came in with what's the one, the little glow mic where you just hear everything crystal clear. And I was like, okay, now I know production wise,
he was recording on an SM7B and she was recording on a Rode condenser mic.
Like, and something had to be there to balance that out, and that, I guess you can call
his
it
vocals were just a little bit more muddy, you think?
Muddy, that's a very good word. And so I love the song so much, but then as I kept listening to it, I was like, wait, now why is this sounding like this? This is like an amateur rookie mistake. And so for me, that gave the album a little slip up, and so I gave him a 4.
All right, moving on to the sonic flow. Y'all, I just have to say I love this album, honestly, from start to finish.
Wow.
I really, really enjoyed this album. Some of the in-between songs, I was like, okay, this isn't my favorite, but this is actually still a great song, and it's still catchy. And I just love that I'm feeling, going through these moments, you have something that's upbeat that gets you dancing, then you drop down a little bit, or you go into something rap and swaggish. But then in one song, though it may drag a little bit, it's gonna pick up and come back down and pick up and come back down. Just so many, it flowed so well. And it just felt like you would think he had so many different features on there because he switched his voice up so much.
Yes.
It just helped it flow to perfection, in my opinion. So I gave a 5 for the sonic flow.
Wow, that's major. I'm
gonna take Camarray back to the album, y'all. His grades are a little low, and we're gonna work on getting them back up.
Oh gosh. Well, I will say that before I even heard the album, another friend of mine pointed this out, and so I'm going to point it out for you guys. And I think this is what helps get him to at least a 4 for me, is that a lot of the songs were very, very short, and I think that forcing all of these amazing moments in this short amount of time, and then going on to the next one, you didn't feel like, who was that, Drake? That you have these 20, I think, what's his name? Lil Nas X has 15 songs. Drake had like 20 some songs, but it felt like 40. But because the songs were so concise and to the point, Lil Nas X album, sonic flow wise, really, really worked for me, and so I gave him a 4. I thought the songs weaved into each other really well, and there were just a couple of album fillers that I wouldn't necessarily, like Zay said, list as a least favorite, but they just didn't quite grab me the way. Yeah. So for me, I gave him a 4.
Well, and the other reason, I'm sorry, I just have to keep going back to, because I feel like I have to really validate what I put here, because Camarray's a little low today. But difference in opinions. But the fact that he didn't have to do what Drake did, he didn't have to do what Yebba did, and have songs where the end of the song flowed into the beginning of the next song and still made it work.
Yeah.
Like, that was just so amazing to me, to where I'm like, okay, you have to get a 5 in sonic flow because it's flowing very, very well. It feels very, very good. It's all cohesive, even though it's like alternative rock, R&B, pop. like all these different moments, it's still flowing so well. How did you manage to make this happen? I couldn't think of anything else but a 5.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't. And then I just flash back to other moments like I just talked about with the albums where they intentionally make it flow, and I love when that happens. The end of the song flows into the beginning of the next song. Love when it happens, but the fact that you didn't even have to do it, it still flows so well, just made it have to be a 5 for me.
Yeah, and I think that has to do with Day Trip and having like executive producers that can kind of mold this entire body. So yes. I think it was a great album, but I'm gonna sit with my 4.
No, it's cool. Well, once we add all of that up, flip it, flop it, twerk it, stop it, it gives us an average of 4.41, which gives us a percentage of
88th percentile,
which gives us a.
Can we get a drum roll, please?
Rate up.
Oh my God! A B plus.
A B plus. I was trying to give the little moments, the little marching band moments from the album.
Yeah, it's definitely giving boom, 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 boom.
I'm not mad at a B plus for his first album. I think it should definitely be a little higher. Just a little higher. It doesn't have to be like an A plus, but I definitely think. But I think it's all about what the listener likes. And here's the thing, as a listener, what I value so much is because I think also being biracial and growing up where I hear white music, I hear black music, to have those two things merge, I don't have to listen to a whole rap album. I can listen to something now that is one album. I can listen to something that's gonna give me all these moments like, that's what I fucking want. That's so a alternative
Blink 182
rock, yes, like type
Day,
moment.
Yeah.
Like, how are you doing that? And it actually sounds like pretty dang good.
Yeah, and it sounds believable too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Well, with that being said, we want to know what you guys have to say about this album, Lil Nas X, Montero.
Get into it,
please drop down in the comments and let us know your favorites. Let us know the parts of our review that you do agree with, some of the things that you may disagree with, and just all around how you feel about this album. Now, after you drop down in the comments, I'm going to work in reverse, hit this video with a thumbs up. Make sure you also hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I think you might want to share it with your family and friends to get them, into it. Yeah.
And I do want to start a little war down in the comments.
Oh.
So all the Lil Nas X fans, hashtag Team Zay down at the bottom. And all the ones who want to hate and ain't catching it and ain't getting it and ain't musically trained.
Lord have mercy.
With the ear. Y'all go ahead and drop down and hit hashtag Team Cam.
All right, I'll take that. Until next time, I am your boy Camarray.
And I'm Zaiah.
And we'll talk to y'all next time.
All right, peace out.